Are there any examples that you can highlight where you've turned a device into basically a strategic advantage for an enterprise, or maybe just change the whole game for the enterprise where they're getting into a capability that they didn't have before?
Yeah. So one of my customers, Securus Technologies, they essentially provide technology solutions to corrections facilities, a variety of different things that they do. They provide the portal where people can add money to commissary. They provide the applications that are used to make phone calls within the corrections facilities. And they came to us a couple of years ago wanting to build a state of the art corrections grade tablet. And at the time, corrections grade wasn't something that was defined in the industry, and they actually defined it based on the work that they did with us. We are launching next month the first corrections grade tablet that is on Android Enterprise and is cellular enabled because of the innovations that we were able to do together. This device is completely impenetrable. That was very important to make sure that there wasn't any metal that could be easily accessed from the tablet. There are additional sensors in there. There's an electrical tape in it so that if the device is pried open, an alarm will ring. There is a Bluetooth sensor that is in there that the device can be found even if it is powered off. So there were a lot of things that they were looking at doing that at the beginning of the project seemed like it was crazy, right? There were so many different asks that they had that we were like, I don't know about this. But then once you dive in and you understand why they needed it, they were able to innovate the device in such a way that I don't know if their competition is going to be able to keep up with it. So that has positioned them very well in the market. And as a result, our partnership with them is just growing because of that.
And I will add, so I was bitter about this deal because at one point in time I was chasing this deal and Janelle won. And I never want to compete with Janelle when it comes to large deals. So if you can't beat them, join them. But I tell you, when I sat down and actually saw the solution, what it was, and when I say you win deals with your ears, the amount of listening and how granular that they were able to get to actually deliver, build this solution, and move it to deployment. It is easily one of the most impressive things I've ever seen because again, I came from a world where, hey, here's technology. Let's see how we can make this work for you, but it is what it is. Coming into social mobile, they built something that was so custom, so intricate, and how granular it was. It really blew my mind. I wanted to say that I didn't win that deal because of how great the solution was, but also it was Janelle behind the scenes finding all that information, gathering all that data, figuring out what's important to them. Because I look at it like being the good doctor. Janelle and I talked about this, figuring out what exactly they need before you prescribe a solution. And that's what they did. That's why they won the deal and I didn't.
It was a lot of listening, a lot of meetings. We had 25 people on site in our old office in Hollywood before we had the really nice conference rooms and everything, basically working through every last detail, not only from the hardware side, but from the software side. There was a lot of work that needed to be done to just build out the full solution. This device has been tried, they've tried to jailbreak it, they've tried to get in the back end of it. There is nothing that they can do to get into this device, which is great. That is good news. But it's been through the ringer, and it just shows, I think, the collaborative approach that we take as well. We're always going to listen. We're always going to talk to our customers. And what seemed as though it might be impossible looking back 2 years ago now, where we are, it's crazy how far we've come with this project.